going to talk about many different theories about human growth and development. And from these theories emerge a major debate whether the human developmental progress is predetermined by birth or by the environment, which is nature or nurture. But first, let's talk about Freud's theory.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm here for my baby's 3-month checkup. I was wondering if you can answer some questions for me.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Is it normal that my baby keeps biting everyone and sucking on things all the time?
Yeah, it's very normal.
Yeah.
At that age, it's called the oral stage. So the baby will gain the pleasure from the mouth area by chewing, sucking, or biting, and it will last until your baby's 18 months. So it's very normal.
Okay, and when is my baby going to learn how to use the toilet? Because I am so sick of changing these diapers.
I understand. For the next stage, it's called the anal stage. So at that age, you can train your baby, and your baby will learn how to bladder and bowel elimination, and it will be between the 18 months and 3 years old. And after that, you don't have to worry about changing diapers anymore.
Oh, good, okay. Do you think you can tell me some other theories I should look out for?
Sure, yeah. According to Freud, the next stage is between like 3 years old and 6 years old. It's called the phallic stage. But at this age, the baby will discover the sexuality feeling from the genital like self-stimulation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the word is very normal.
Okay.
And the next stage between the 6 years old and until the puberty, and it's called a latency stage. And the sexuality will be repressed, and your baby will have the same sex friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the last stage, it will be after the puberty, and it's called a genital stage. It means the sexuality, feeling, and everything will be reawakened, but it's very normal.
All right, well, thank you for answering all these questions for me.
Okay, you're very welcome.
All right, bye. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
That's great.
I have a couple questions. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I have a 3-month-old all the way to 12 years old, and I've looked at Erickson's theory online, and I honestly am kind of confused by it. And could you explain the stages so I know what to expect with my kids?
Well, of course I can. So, trust versus mistrust, birth to 18 months. Infants must form loving, trusting relationships with the caregiver or develop a sense of mistrust. Babies require stability and consistent, reliable care. Conflict occurs when weaning from breast, an infant being able to trust that they'll be fed and no longer getting oral gratification. Second stage, autonomy versus shame and doubt, 18 months to 3 years. Toddlers must assert a sense of independence and autonomy. Conflict lies in children's dual desires to hold on and let go. Parents' role is best served with flexible but firm guidance. With overly controlling and restrictive parents, children may develop a sense of shame and doubt in abilities. Stage 3, initiative versus guilt. 3 to 6 years olds are exploring what kind of people they may become. Preschoolers must assert a sense of initiative or be left with a feeling of guilt, self-doubt, and a lack of initiative. Initiative allows them to explore the world around them, discover things, and develop a sense of purpose. Stage 4, industry versus inferiority, or 6 to 12 years old. Social realm expands, peers and teachers increase in importance as parental influence decreases. Children take pride in accomplishments. Failure can lead to inadequacy and inferiority. They have to be taught what constitutes success and failure.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. I actually have a couple questions. I'm 18 years old, and I'm kind of worried about not only myself, my brother, he's about 35, and my parents, they're in their 60s, and I've been doing some research online about Erickson, and it's just, I don't fully understand. Could you kind of explain it to me, what stages?
Okay, yeah, I have some picture for to explain it for you so it can be more clear. And it's your age, so you are in the state of identity and role confusion in this stage. You like making choice of career and what university or college to go is the kind of like hard for you or the main goal. So if you fail in that, you become role confusion. And the next stage is intimacy and isolation. In this stage, maybe you say about your brother who's 35. Yeah, his main goal may be like finding a partner to build a trusting relationship, or if he fails in that, he become like isolated with outside world. And the next stage is about generativity and stagnation, which is maybe your uncle.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
uncle.
you talk about your uncle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in this state, people find that joyful through like participate in community work, like volunteer, or else they have like egocentric behavior, which is like they only care about themselves, which is selfish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the last stage is when people close to death. They actually integrity and or despair. Your grandpa or grandma maybe feel like the death. They accept the death. They feel like condition for their life, so they're happy with it.
So you think they're okay with
Mhm.
passing away?
If not, they become like they regret what they did in their life and want to do it all over again. So
Okay.
I might answer on your question.
Thank you so much. I really appreciated that.
Okay.
Hi. No, down here. Oh, there you are. My name's Donald, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the developmental theories of a gentleman named Mr. Havighurst, using the only paper I can reach. Because you see, I've sort of been here before. First thing we're going to start with is conception. Mr. Havighurst believed that we had to complete tasks at each phase of our developmental process, otherwise we couldn't move forward to the next phase in life. Almost like a treasure hunt, everything done in steps to get to an end goal. In the infancy, early childhood stage, nurses are supposed to be assessing how well we eat and learn to talk and learn differences of gender between the genders. In the 6 to 12-year-old stage, nurses assess our interactions as we learn to get along with playmates of our same age. And also, we gain our personal independence. As 12 to 18-year-old adolescents, Mr. Havighurst believed we start forming relationships in preparation for career and marriage, for which nurses will be assessing our readiness for upcoming life events. Well, I hope I explained Mr. Havighurst's theories and nursing interactions to each. Now I gotta go. And I don't mean leave, I gotta go.
The first stage of Jean Piaget's model is the sensory motor. This is when children begin to put everything in their mouth and explore the world through their senses. The second part is motor. That's when they begin to crawl from 0 to 2 and they begin to get into things to understand the world around them. The second stage is the pre-operational. This is pretend play. This is monkey see, monkey do. This is when children begin to feed their dolls or they begin to tuck in their teddy bears because they begin to do what they see around them. This is how they make sense of the world. Hello, how are you today?
I'm good.
Okay. And these two glasses, do you think they're equal? One has less or more?
I would say they're equal. They're the same.
Okay. Now, put this here. Do you think they're equal? One has less or more?
I would say the same.
Okay. So Bailey, a child, is understanding conservation. This is the third stage. This is concrete operational, where even if it doesn't look the same, the volume is still the same. So, I'm going to give you a rule and then ask you a question. The first rule is, if you hit a glass with a hammer, it will break. So now I'm going to ask you, if you hit the glass with a hammer, what will happen?
It will break.
Okay. Now I'm going to give you a second rule. If you hit the glass with a feather, it will break. So if you hit the glass with a feather, what will happen?
It will break.
Okay. Tammy is explaining the final stage of Jean Piaget's model, which is formal operational, which is basically that even if it doesn't make complete sense, she can make sense of a rule and accept it.
Hi guys! Today we're going to be talking about Kohlberg's theory, which is the theory of moral development, which is right and wrong. So he says that there are 3 levels, and within those levels there are stages that you reach, and you can't move on until you read or finish the last stage. So the first level is pre-conventional, and the first stage is obedience and punishment. So if I tell you a rule and you break it, you're gonna get punished. Like, don't touch that. And if you touch it, you're gonna get your hand smacked. So don't do that. And then stage 2 is individualism and exchange. So judgments are guided by exchange. So like, your wants and needs are gonna come and guide what you want. So like, I like your watch. I want that. What do I have to do to get that watch? See, once and exchange it. The next level is conventional. So stage 3 is good and bad orientation. So people are motivated by their expectations from their parents, and they know that if I get an A in class, my mom will be proud and she'll reward me with love, respect, and what I want. And then stage 4 is the law and order. So basically, when you're an adult, people are gonna follow the law, and if you break the law, you're gonna go to a bad place.
Does that mean I go to jail?
Yeah. You don't wanna go there. No. So then the post-conventional stage or level has stage 5, which is social contract and individual rights. So they recognize that society needs order. So if we didn't have rules, you'd think it would be crazy, or we would all be
Crazy.
Alright. And then stage 6 is universal principles. So everyone is able to ponder and identify universal principles of justice. So it's like, if you believe in a higher power, you're gonna believe that if you do good, you'll be rewarded later on, or by this higher power.
Like
So
heaven?
it-
Going to heaven?
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you're a good person here,
Jesus.
you'll go to heaven.
I want to go to heaven.
Today I'm going to talk about Westerhoff's theory of development, and this is a faith development theory which incorporates religion in how a child develops. There are 4 stages to this theory. The first stage is experienced faith, which is during preschool and early childhood, where a child learns and practices their faith based off of what they see others do around them, such as praying because they see their mother pray. And the second stage is affiliated faith, which is during childhood and early adolescence, where childs act with others in their community of faith, such as going to youth groups and practicing in choir. The third stage is searching faith, which occurs during early adulthood, and that's where a person goes through critical judgment and experimentation, deciding which faith is right for them. The fourth stage is own faith, which is during adulthood, when the adult realizes what faith is right for them and they're willing to share and stand up for their own beliefs.
Right, I'm doing B.F. Skinner, which is a behavioral theory, and basically that has to do with operant conditioning, positive and negative reinforcement. This is basically an observable behavior, and all of these are likely to increase if the behavior is going to happen again from the external stimulus or external environment.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I brought my daughter in today. We're having trouble with potty training. I have tried everything that I can think of. I have spanked her. I've put her in time out. She keeps wetting the bed. I don't know what else to do. I put her on the potty when I go. What can I do?
Alright, so in this case, potty training, we usually recommend positive reinforcement. In your case, you've done negative reinforcement, and so sometimes that does work, but in potty training, positive reinforcement is the best thing. So basically, I want you, every time she goes to the bathroom, to reward her with a piece of candy, and do that continuously. And the more you do it, the more likely the behavior is to be repeated. Okay? And then eventually, before you know it, she'll be potty trained on her own. So continue that with positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement. This is extremely important in nursing care because the positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement or operant conditioning is all likely to increase if the behavior is going to happen again. So when it comes to our patients, we can reward them, give them praise for taking their medications on time, and being compliant with doctor's orders.
Oh my gosh, you're always leaving your stupid toys in the way. I'm so tired of that doll. Oh, come on, Bailey, it's time for bed.
No, not right now.
Okay, so as you saw in the skit, this was Bandura's theory. He believed that people learn behaviors through interactions. As we saw, Bailey paid attention to Chriselle's interactions with the baby doll, and she was able to retain that for later and then reproduce that action, which was a negative action. So violent behaviors can be learned as well as positive behaviors, and that is what Bandera's theory teaches.